Oh, yo, gotcha. We're gonna be starting now. This is my grinding song. Can you hear me, Garuda? First guy here, Garuda. What's up? There we go. There we go. All right, everybody. We are live. I'm going to record. This is just me for right now. We got some grinders in here. We're going to do the other podcast, but yeah, we just moved over to here because there's some difficulties. We're just trying to get together and getting that up. So shout out to Sick wherever you are, man. We're ready, and we're gonna start up that podcast. But I just said the guys were in the group. I was like, yo, let's do the Grinders Roundtable. Why not? My soundboard is firing. So I'm going to share my desktop now. So hold on. I'm going to share my ish. Guys, don't mind my technical difficulties. I'm going to let the grinders introduce themselves. And first I got to make sure that one of the grinders is in here. Hold on. All right. If he can't get in, I'll just text him. So anyway, we will start here. I know it says starting soon. Don't mind the technical difficulties. And here we go. So I'm starting the desktop audio here. And hey, guys, Big Money, Cyber Dragon, introduce yourselves. Big Money, go.
What's up, everybody? This is Big Money, man. Come from the round table, and we starting a new show with Sick Humor TV. We waiting on him right now, but I'm here with my buddy Grind My Gears, man. We're going to talk about a couple of things until Sick get ready. He's not in yet, so I'm here with my buddy Cyber Dragon and Grind My Gears. Let's have a great little show until Sick get ready, and let's get going.
Yep, sounds good, man. So, Cyber Dragon.
Hello, Cyber Dragon here. Shout outs to the chat. How you doing, chat? Welcome here this evening, and we're gonna get into a few topics here and see how things go. Let's get to it.
I know, man. Yeah, we're waiting for Frogs to come in. He's still sitting in the other chat, so we're going to try to get him in here. Don't mind the technical difficulties and my crazy setup here, but I was trying to get this thing going. But yeah, we're just going to, there's been a lot of, too much stuff going on. Oh my goodness. Now my desktop's showing. Oh my goodness. This is just, oopsie. See, I told you guys it was going to be one of those days with all my stuff here, but I just want to fix this. Why isn't there we go? I'm gonna just turn that off for a second.
Frog just arrived.
Did he? Yeah, it's my first time using Discord chat, so we are just, and I gotta see the chat. I gotta see the grinders in the field. What's up? There we go. There we go. All right, so you guys can hear me. I see you guys in the chat. So we got we got to do a sound test. Try to get Frogs in this thing. I'm gonna see. Did Frogs text me back? Let me see. We got to do a sound test. We got to see if my soundboard works, because
Come on, don't bullshit me.
You love that soundboard.
I love that one. Give me the thumbs up, guys. If you could hear it, you could hear. We're gonna do my Discord one now. We're gonna do the Discord one, and
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
So I'm thinking that might have been an echo sound in that one. I don't know, but anyway. So we're gonna get. So guys, we haven't talked too much about yesterday was the first time like we got together and we were just chatting, waiting in the room, and we really didn't get to talk about just like E3 and what did you think of E3 in general, like or if you want to talk about anything specific. So would you think of E3? I know it's been a couple of weeks now, but I think that the news or whatever is digested coming out of that thing, and kind of now we're moving on. But what did you think in general of E3?
You know what? E3 to me, like I made a video. A couple of days ago, and it was saying about is E3 necessary anymore? And I think E3 is necessary more than ever now. I think a lot of people gave up on E3 because they're this year, and that's one thing about me, man. Like, I'm there for E3, good or bad, because to me, E3 is Christmas to gamers. E3 is the Super Bowl to gamers. And I think a lot of people seen this E3 without Sony, and they just said, well, Sony is E3, so we don't need E3 no more. Unless Sony is there, we don't need E3. And I'm thinking the total opposite. Like I said, I think we need E3 more than ever. I have to say, they stole the show because, like, I'm a person about games. If you come out with games, that's what E3 is about. E3 is about celebrating games. And that's what they brought they bought games. And the games that they brought, because I was saying for the longest time, like for the last 15 years, man, the only thing I seen them put out that was, that I wanted to buy, that would make me want to buy a console is, what's the name of that one game, that painting game that they got?
What painting game? Well, who? Which one? Who had that?
Nintendo. That it started with an S.
Oh,
and they be spraying paint everywhere.
Splatoon.
Splatoon. That was the only game they did in the last 15, 20 years that I've seen that make me want to buy a Nintendo product. And now they have this new Zelda game coming out. They have Ultimate Alliance 3 coming out. That comes out next month. And they have what's the other game that come out? Astro Chain. So they got a lot of.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Oh my God, that game looked very, very good. And it's done by
who
Platinum
makes
Games.
it? What is it? The Platinum Games. Another great relationship. Platinum seems to work well with everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't know. They seem to work well with Sony and Nintendo. Well, Microsoft couldn't get it.
But you see what happened with you know what? I got a feeling, man, that I don't think it's true, but I got a very deep feeling that Platinum is not going to mess with Microsoft anymore. After what happened after that debacle, I know that's a big if. Yeah. But man, I don't see them messing with them anymore, man. But, that's my take on E3. I'm going to let y'all talk now. Go ahead.
Sure, no problem, man. Good.
Okay, for me, well, I'll let you know in advance. I'm a PlayStation guy. I don't own a Switch. Never owned an Xbox product.
Never? Ever?
Never owned any.
Not the first one, not the 360. So you survived PlayStation 3 lifestyle.
Yeah. No.
So did you get a second job? Did you fight the giant enemy crabs and everything with the PS3?
Well, I stayed on PS2 and I waited for the PS3 Slim to come out with the 500 gigabyte.
Okay,
then I jumped on it. Yeah.
Yes.
But as far as all the shows, yes, I've seen Devolver Digital, Ubisoft, EA. I watched everybody except for the PC. I spent a lot more.
Oh my God, that PC. Oy.
But I
Holy
did expect
crap.
more from Microsoft, man. They had the court, man. They just had to hit all the 3-pointers, man. But they're shooting bricks, man.
Yeah,
That meme of Carlton like throwing the ball, like the basketball shot, and just completely do the slow mo, missing the net, like that.
exactly.
Oh my god!
And Nintendo, they showed out. Square showed out. Now from
Yeah.
Ubisoft,
Yes.
more of that dancing, man. I'm tired of the dancing. I mean,
Yo, that
there's
Just
something
Dance,
like it.
man.
I cringe every time I see that, man.
It's like Lucha Party. My god, like, they do that every year.
They do that all the time, man.
But Watchdog Legions looks tight. I like that one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see who else. Devolver Digital. You know how crazy that group is.
Oh
They've
yeah,
been doing
they're
crazy stuff,
sick,
man.
Oh, weird shit. Yeah.
But it's pretty humorous and it's short and to the point. And they were taking shots at the industry anyway. If you listen to the entire delivery, they was taking a lot of shots at the industry.
Oh.
I like that when they did that. And then Sony not being there, there are those who say, well, they let down their fans by not showing up. Sony told everybody last year
That's
they're
one
not
thing
going to
about
be
me,
here.
man. Like, I'm there for
I guess they didn't believe
it.
But I don't feel disappointed because they're not there. If you're not going to show anything, who else? No, potent or why show the same stuff you already showed to get criticized for showing the same stuff you already showed?
Yeah. But the thing is like it was. I totally agree with the whole thing with Sony not being there. Like I really think that they should have been there. I've said that a bunch of times. Like they should have been there, and I do think that they could have shown some things. Maybe not at the level of like a big showcase, but they could have showed if they had some like I don't know if they had God of War DLC, some more of Last of Us, maybe Last of Us 2 multiplayer or something. Like they could have showed some more, like some they have stuff to show. It was a big power move for them not to go at E3 at all. But what the craziest thing was is that they actually was still represented there. Like Square pretty much like held them up with their exclusives and even timed content and beta for the Marvel Avengers game. And Sony didn't even have to have them on stage or anything like that. Like it just by default they just got de facto kind of betas early. They got they were there, like in a sense. And it really was a big move that they did not go. Like I think they should have been there, but again, I think overall in general with E3, I think a lot of people, you could tell it's a transition year in just what everybody showed. A lot of CGI stuff, a lot of kind of just things we kind of knew, not a lot of surprises out of E3. Like it is a transition year that I think maybe next year is when everybody's going to kind of just show all their games because it's going to be announced with new hardware, new products, I guess. Nintendo's on their own timeline, so Nintendo can announce all their games all they want. They're on their own timeline.
Yes, they're on a different tangent than everybody else.
Yeah, they're on their own. Yeah, they're on their own tangent right there. So, the thing is that Sony did what did you think of actually not just this E3, but what did you think of last year's E3 being like a big Sony fan? What did you think of that kind of presentation?
Well,
Go ahead, Cyberdragon.
Yeah, I like what they did. There are 4 different set pieces based on the actual in-game set pieces. And who's done that before? Nobody has that I could think of.
No.
There are those who didn't enjoy it because it was kind of boring to them, but it was unique. They always try something, they try something new. Like the previous year with God of War, playing the music in the beginning and Kratos walking out of the dark. Man, I still got chills from that.
It was definitely a creative thing. I thought the presentation was fine. I know they do a lot of with the music and with the orchestra they had and the presentation. The one thing I didn't like last year was the the news desk. Even though the biggest news I thought out of E3 last year from Sony was having Call of Duty as part of PlayStation Plus. Like I thought that was a huge announcement, because that was like a big thing, and they announced it at the sportscaster desk. So I didn't have too much a problem with it. I guess a lot of people at the place didn't like to get shifted around a lot, like the church to then the other thing and all that other stuff. They didn't want to get shifted around too much. But They showed a
But
lot.
yeah.
You know, they showed good stuff last year.
No, I was going to say, yeah, they did. But you know what? I was thinking, man. I said this last year and maybe the year before that. Like a lot of people, like why they didn't show up this year, right? Because I think they're gearing up. I think everybody's on the same page with they're gearing up for next gen. So
Yes.
I think the stuff that they're going to show, like a lot of the games that they're showing, like remember Ghost of Tsushima. I think Ghost of Tsushima is going to come out simultaneously for the PS5 and the PS4, and I think that's why in The Last of Us 2, both of those games could come out simultaneously in the open window for the PS5. It could be because I can't see them doing anything else like that. But I think they self too thin with all these shows they've been doing. Because I remember one year, I think it was 2017, they did every show imaginable. And when they got to
the Paris and stuff like that,
they did the Paris Games Week, then they did the Tokyo Game Show. I think they spread themselves too thin, and they blew their load a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? They blew their load a couple of times. Yeah. And I think what's going on is why they didn't show up this year is they didn't want to make that mistake again. They didn't want to keep showing things that people already seen, because like Cyber Dragon said, people was going to criticize like, hey man, okay, you showing me the same thing. So I think they're going to wait. That's why they didn't come. And this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, in like 25, 26 years, they haven't been at E3.
Yeah. It was like Jeff Keighley was in tears and stuff like that. Like he was like, "This is my first time that I'm not going to see Sony at the press conference," like stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's been like 25 years. Like, yeah, it has been.
Yeah, it's been 25 years straight, and I think that's what it is, man. They didn't want to spread themselves thin like that anymore. I think they finna stop a lot of stuff, because what's the Gears? What's the name of that one thing? It's the E3 that's in Europe. What do they call that over there?
The
Gamescom.
Gamescom, yeah. They don't go to Gamescom. Instead, they do the Paris Games Week.
Yeah. See, but you know what? I think they're not going to do that this year. I don't think they're going to do Paris Games Week this year. I'm not for sure.
I have no clue what they're doing. I have no, but I do know, like, the thing is like this whole Direct stuff, like Nintendo Directs and, the Microsoft Inside Xbox and then these State of Plays and stuff like that. Like, everybody's like following that Nintendo bandwagon of just showing up stuff, like, except Inside Xbox is just atrocious, with its like its characters and stuff like that, and what was everybody's gonna hear my Benny Hill music, that's Inside Xbox, one of those deals. But the thing is that the State of Play, in the last two of them was short, but they did have some game announcements in there that I think were even more relevant than some of the stuff that's been shown at what Microsoft shown. And the Iron Man VR, I think that could possibly have a potential, just like our Batman VR had some sort of influence on that. What's up, Jemiah? How you doing, man?
What's up, Jemiah?
And then the other one, what was the other? And then the other State of Play, they announced the Predator game. And I don't know what kind of level of polish and what kind of level game, but again, I find out that the announcements that Sony's making, for some reason, are more relevant to me at where I am as a gamer, and the same thing with Nintendo. I left. I was a huge Nintendo fan. Then I bought myself Disney Sports Soccer, and I looked at myself at 21 years old going, what the I got hair on my balls. I don't need to be playing this kind of game. I would go to GameStop and I was like, so what's the new Nintendo game? The guy's like, Disney Sports Soccer. I'm like, it seems like fun. And then I was playing it. I'm like, you know what, man? I'm like, nah, man. Nah, I'm done. I'm done with the cartoons. I'm in college. I'm getting out of college now. Like, what the hell? The cartoons go.
See, that's what I was thinking for the last 15 years, Grant. Like they haven't put out, every time they put out something, it's like kitty like, and it's nothing against the people that like those games. I have nothing against those people, but the hardcore gamers like us, we want to see stuff like Astro Train and
ain't nobody got time for that.
The Ultimate, the Marvel game, Marvel Ultimate.
Yes.
We want to see more games like that.
There was no balance back. That was GameCube time. Like there was GameCube time. I'm talking about. There was no balance. Like it was all just that way. Like the third party. This is probably the strongest right now with the Switch. The strongest third party support they have seen of real games. And now you could say, yeah, they're 200p and all that other shit, like 300. Like, but they're serious ports to the Switch that. The Switch, the Wii had third-party support, but they had some goofy-ass shit because of the waggle stuff. So, like, they would get a game, but it would not be like, it wouldn't be like The Witcher. It would be like The Witcher sword play. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be The Witcher the game. It would be like a spin-off of The Witcher that uses the waggle. Now they're actually getting The Witcher on the Switch. Like, they're getting third-party games. This is what they wanted to do with the Wii U. Like the Wii U, they realized that the grandmas, the aunts, the uncles, the people who just bought a Wii and had Wii Sports under the table never bought anything else. They're like, yo, we're good, Wii Sports, we're good. So they didn't give longevity to the Wii. That's why after a few years, it just died off because the hardcore had left it because it was just became like a gimmick. They tried to get them back with the Wii U. But that was the whole time of everybody wants to play on their tablets, and they thought that was going to be a way. And they tried to get a more powerful machine and get third party. I remember the video of getting Bayonetta and all that other stuff. They tried to get third party, but didn't happen. But this is the first time that their Switch is getting third party, like real legit games, like the games that you play on other consoles on the Switch.
Exactly.
It's pretty
I
crazy.
believe they're approaching 35 million in sales too.
Yeah, well, but according to Phil Spencer, the sales consoles don't matter. So we'll just take that comment and erase it from the board because Phil Spencer says that console sales don't matter. But the Switch is proof.
I cannot be Phil Nest.
No, you cannot be Phil Ness. Where's guys? They're gonna hear my quote.
We're really focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone.
Hey, I love that quote, man. That's a great quote too, man.
Oh, I'm playing it right now. You can't hear it because that's on my other soundboard. So everybody heard it in the chat.
We're really focusing first on what it means.
Yeah, but that, like Phil's been saying a lot of crazy stuff lately, man. Like I don't know what is going on with Phil, man. Like remember we were having a discussion a couple of days ago about what he said about with the, hey, I'm happy about the games we didn't show. Man, what, Phil? What the hell is wrong with you? Like, why would you say some shit like that? I don't understand what Phil. Oh my God, Phil.
Yeah, I put the meme out today of do you know that guy where he's just like sort of like that meme with this guy's like just trying to talk like he's like well like just like moving his hands around like trying to explain something that's been Phil like all these interviews. They're like, Phil, so what about the consoles? And he's like, console sales don't matter, but Phil, you announced a new Scarlet. Oh yeah, we're gonna have the most powerful, not the most powerful console we ever made, and oh man, he is just out there. I said it before. This is why I started Grinds My Gears, is because I think that they just need to put up or shut up. I am tired of them talking over themselves and contradicting themselves, and it was like watching the Fox News. They're not showing any substance at all, and they just like it is that total meme of like, don't worry, everything's okay, and Phil Spencer's and Leslie Nielsen in front of the fire burning. So it's okay, guys. Don't worry about it. We're good, and no games. But yeah, man, he was going all over.
You know what? The fans don't make them accountable. Like, everything's going to start with the fans. Y'all have to start realizing that. The fans of Xbox, man, I have nothing against y'all, but it starts with y'all. They don't. If you think they really listen to y'all, they don't. Because if they listen to y'all, they will give you the games that you want. We're talking about, we was talking about the price point of what they're doing. If you think, you said it the best a couple of days ago, if you think that you're going to pay $10 a month and you're going to get these AAA games month after month, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. And I don't understand why people think that, because that's not what you're going to get. You're going to get mediocre game after mediocre game after mediocre game. That's the only thing you're going to get from this service.
Yeah.
But like I said, it starts with the fans.
Yeah. It's gonna. The thing is that it really, I can't see them, and maybe they'll surprise us and take a hit, but I can't see them taking a new game. Like I think Halo and Gears and Game Pass is gonna be where the money's gonna be. Like that's it. They'll do that. I still have doubts with that, and we can talk about that if you want to. But the biggest thing is that I don't see like an Uncharted type game or a Horizon Zero Dawn or a Zelda type game or even a Mario, like, Super Mario Brothers, one of those games, like that kind of level of game being just put into Game Pass day one from Microsoft Studios. First of all, I don't know who will make such a game and put that in there for only $1. Like, for $10 a month, you could just exploit our game for like the month and then stop it. Like, it's not financially feasible for them to invest in a big blockbuster game, 10, 15 million, and then say, just put it in Game Pass. No, it's the same quality as, and I was saying this before, the same quality as going to see the Avengers Endgame in the movie theater. That's what Uncharted and Zelda and stuff is. Or watching Bird Box on Netflix. Or The Defenders, that other show. Like, if you look at the two of them, like Endgame or The Defenders, Avengers or The Defenders, like that's the difference. Like obviously Netflix has a sort of level of quality of it, but that level is not the same as a blockbuster movie. Like it's not the same as a summer hit. And that's the difference when you subscribe. Just like if you go out to a steak dinner and you got an a la carte restaurant like Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse, and then you go to the buffet and they have steak there. Which steak is going to be better? The buffet steak or the Gordon Ramsay filet mignon? Like, exactly. That's the difference. When you like, they're not going to take the Gordon steak filet mignon and put it in the buffet next to the mac and cheese. and the corn fritters and shit. Like, like that's the thing. Like,
I don't understand stuff like that. It's so easy to understand, man. And like I said, it starts with the fan. Unless y'all ask for more, unless the Xbox fan asks for more, they're gonna keep feeding you the buffet steak.
That's it.
Hey, here go another buffet steak. And I'm tired of eating buffet steak. I'm tired of eating it. I'm tired. I had too much.
And I shit.
Gordon Ramsay.
But see, in the Xbox fan base, there are certain individuals, they got some clout, they got some voice, but they are settling. They won't say nothing negative or against Microsoft. Or some tried until Phil blocked them. But
crazy.
They gotta speak up, man. I mean, there's a store guy. You got the crap guy. You got some other individuals there, the dealer dude. They're not. They got based on their subscribers. They got enough people to back them up. They need to speak up and stick to it. They flip flop left and right. Now it's all about the Scarlet.
But see, but I don't even think it's the YouTube influencers or those. Microsoft is not. They tell you they're listening. They are not listening because they have their own agenda. The only way that they're going to listen is if you vote with your wallet. They don't care what these YouTubers are saying. And the biggest problem, the challenge that I'm seeing here with coming out of E3, back to E3, this whole Xbox Live Ultimate that they announced, right? So Xbox Live Ultimate, you get PC Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. You get Xbox Live, and you get Xbox Game Pass for Xbox, the console. So confusing. Wonderful messaging. So you got the PC and the console, and you got Xbox Live just sitting in there. So the thing is that they were doing where if you had Xbox Live paid out for a year or two, and you bought Game Pass for only $1, and I always use the analogy, Game Pass is Cheech outside of the titty twister, saying, "Oh, you can find pussy for less than fuck it." So you buy it for $1. It stacked on top of your Xbox Live, and it gave you Game Pass Ultimate for the entirety of your Xbox Live subscription. So if you had 2 years of Xbox Live subscription, the basically Game Pass now for only $1 will now stack to Game Pass Ultimate. You'll get all 3 of those services tapped into that for the entire. So a lot of people logged in up to 36 months. You can do 3 years. So people bought Xbox Live for 3 years, which was $60 a year. And then they basically bought Game Pass for $1 and then upgraded to Xbox Live Ultimate, and it gave them Ultimate for 3 years. Now, deal of the century, right? Because now you got PC Game Pass, you got Xbox Game Pass, and then you got Xbox Live. First off, if you're a PC guy, that is not good, because why would you pay for Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live when you could do it for free on PC? So
exactly.
It makes no sense.
Yep,
But
exactly.
my question is how do you vote with your wallet when you're locked in to 3 years of Xbox Live Game Pass? How do you let Microsoft know that I don't want that Crackdown 3 quality? I don't want Sea of Thieves at launch like that. I don't want State of Decay 2 trash-ass janky game like that. I don't want these first-party games in the condition that you're shipping them. How do you vote with your wallet?
Battletoads.
Or Battletoads. I don't want Battletoads in Game Pass. I want big quality games. How do you do that when you are signed up in blood with Game Pass? You can't.
That's green too. Green blood.
Green blood, exactly. You can't. You can't vote with your wallet. So what incentive does Microsoft have to giving you high quality games in Game Pass when you're already subscribed? And I think I was telling you guys yesterday, it is like the same thing like cable. You got triple play. I got cable, I got cell phone, I got the cable, internet, and the phone. But I don't want the phone.
And they make it seem like you got a great fucking deal. You got a great
$300. Oh, $300. Okay, $300. But I don't want the phone. I don't use the phone. I don't use Xbox Live. It's free. I don't want it. All right, pull it out. Well, guess what? Now you're paying $350 because everything's a la carte. It's like, well, wait a second. But how? Like, when you were logged into the subscription, when you're logged in with 2 years contract with AT&T when they used to do contracts and shit, I don't like this phone. Well, you're with us for 2 years. Oh, I have bad connection at my house. Well, you signed a 2-year contract. You better go stand on your roof or something. You know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're in a contract.
Exactly. And that's what they saying to them.
That's it.
See, you can't do nothing. And Microsoft knows this, man. This is a big conglomerate, man. They know exactly what they're doing.
That's why it's $1.
Yeah. You know what I mean? They want every little... Hey, you know what? This kind of reminds me, man, like, I'm in Cincinnati, right? And we got a casino downtown, right? This is the first casino ever in Cincinnati. I go in there, right? I spend my little money I had. I took a couple of $100 in there. I'm like, God damn, y'all just take me for everything. So I lost all my little money. I think I had like 75 cents to my name. Somebody directed me downstairs to the penny machine. I said, damn, y'all want me to leave with a fucking 75 cents? They wanted all my money, man. And that's how these conglomerates, they want all your money. It might look like a good deal at first, but once you start bringing up those questions that Gears just brought up, then you start asking yourself, like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
That's right. And what happens? They give you the like Battletoads and all these indie games in Game Pass, and you're sitting there going, "Shit, man, Game Pass sucked this month." Like Game Pass, and also too, I was telling the guys before, the games that are leaving Xbox Live Game Pass, like Xbox Game Pass, yo, there's some like this next month is like Devil May Cry 4. There's Marvel versus Capcom, the 3 that they added. They Zombie Army Trilogy is leaving. Last month they had what is it? Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic left. So like these games are staying. The third-party games, at least, are staying maybe eight months, a long time, maybe 6 months. Look at Fallout. Fallout came in for a month or two. Fallout 4 came in for a month or two, left when Fallout 76 came out, and then when Fallout 76 fell flat on its ass, they put Fallout 4 back into Game Pass, like because people are like, oh shit, let's keep Fallout like relevant, and it's just like you don't know. like, and I heard like somebody on another podcast somewhere saying like, I play I play games that I wouldn't buy. I play the games I wouldn't buy. And I said, it's like, if you weren't going to buy it, like, then the game wasn't probably interesting to you to begin with. If you weren't willing to pay $20 and $30 for a game, and it just happens to be like, and you see Microsoft's motto, and Microsoft's motto is basically of Game Pass is discover your next game. Wait, hold on, I got my sound bites here.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
It's ain't nobody got time for that. I don't have time to sift through 200 bullshit games to find what I want to play next. I want a curated list. I want you to sell me that game. I don't need to go through a bunch of bullshit indie stuff and say, oh, I'm going to find a gem in here. Yeah. That's what you do when you have no games. You just basically throw shit against the wall and go find your diamond in the rough.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, like, if you're going to go buy a diamond for your wife for an engagement, are you going to go sift through a bunch of, like, hay to look for a diamond? Or are you going to go look through coal? Or are you going to go to the place that's selling all the diamonds? Over the PlayStation, Nintendo, who's giving you diamonds. And yeah, and maybe they're not big diamonds. Maybe they're little diamonds. They can't all be bangers. But I'm not going to go sifting through bullshit to go find some little hidden gem. And that's kind of like
what they want you to do.
They want you to, like, there's even like a random button. You know what? On the Windows 10 one, there's a button that you hit and it just like picks a game for you randomly from Game Pass. Play it.
Oh no.
It's like choose your next game.
Terrible.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like it's like Russian roulette. Like, you shoot me in the fucking head with that one. My God, like Russian roulette Game Pass. And they did it to Max. Like, it's just, I don't like. I understand that people do like that. Like, I see people saying like, "Oh, the Outer Wilds is a good game." I'm not saying they're all trash games and stuff like that, but it's like it just shows that they're just throwing everything, all this shit. It's a lot of indie and Game Pass fodder, as people have been calling it. And then you wait for the next games from their first party studios, and when you see them, they look like the same type of games that they're fucking getting in indies.
Exactly. And then you might have some indies out there that's way better than first party games, man.
Yes.
Like, that shit is terrible. Like, the thing is, like, the most people that buy these consoles, right, are hardcore gamers. I think 80% of the people that grab the PS4, the Nintendo, the Switch, the Xbox are hardcore gamers. Now, who are you going to cater to most, Microsoft? Yeah. Are you going to cater to the hardcore gamers like us, the ones that's out here speaking? We're the ones that do these shows. The reason we do these shows is because we want y'all to do better.
Yeah.
But y'all don't.
I want a competing company.
That's the reason why we're here. We're here to talk about why don't you do better? Why are you not trying? You've been here for what?
Wait, Phil answered the question, dude. Big money. Phil answered it. Here comes my soundbite.
We're really focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone. So we thought about how can we get as many people playing on a phone as possible.
He wants so many people playing on his phone. He thinks that people want strap-ons on their phones. Like, that's what they want to do. That's it. Like, if you would go to if you went to a race, and a horse race, and all these horses are lined up, and the jockeys are all like, I'm going to beat this guy, I'm going to beat this guy, and beat this guy. And then you interview the other jockey, and he goes, I'm just happy to be here. I don't care who wins. Are you going to put your money on that guy? Your ass will probably come in last. You should be at the concession booth. That's how Phil's coming out there. He's like, I'm just glad to be here. I hope anybody wins. It doesn't matter. Like, as long as I'm on my horse and I'm here and the people are in the crowd, like, it's wonderful. It's such great for horse racing. Are you going to bet your money on that jockey? Meanwhile, the other two are snarling and like, I got Nintendo Direct. I got a State of Play. Here's Zelda. Here's Uncharted. Here's God of War. Here's Mario. And Microsoft's like, does anybody want to play Minecraft over there? Like, get the fuck out of here.
And that's the shit. That's the shit that we talking about. Like I said, that's why we're here. And I don't understand what's wrong with them. Why they can't do better? They've been doing this. They was right on the. My whole thing was like, I don't know if you heard this, Grind My Gears or Cyber Dragon. I heard this story one time. It was these guys. I forgot their names, but these are the guys that initially came up with they brought it to Bill Gates. The Xbox, they bought the thing, Bill Gates, right? And they were having a meeting, and he was telling us that for about 2-3 hours, Bill Gates was so upset at them because he didn't want nothing to do. Because even I said it back on the round table, 20-30 years ago, you couldn't walk in to any office on Wall Street and tell them, hey man, invest every fucking thing you got, every dime you got on gaming. They would have threw you out of their office. Now you hear articles in the Wall Street Journal about gaming. That's how big gaming is now. Gaming is humongous. I said this is another thing that I said before. Like a couple of months ago, man, I came outside, I bullshit you not, Gears. I heard somebody in their car bumping, not just playing, but bumping the theme music to God of War. He was playing it loud as hell. And this was a black guy. He was a black guy in a Capri, like booming this music. So they're making so much money in this. You couldn't go on Wall Street talking about invest all your money. Now everybody want a piece of the pie. Everybody on Wall Street want a piece of the pie because gaming is making so much money now. Now you see Xbox. They're one of the top 2 money makers in business, period.
Yeah, they actually number one. They beat Apple. Everybody's celebrating, you know?
And that's it. I don't want nothing
They
else.
making so much money. That's why, I don't understand the reasoning of what to do. We know they had the debacle in 2013 when they brought the Xbox One out. Everybody didn't want it. They wanted to do this check-in every 24 hours. That's why I said to myself, man, when Phil came into the game, Phil didn't do nothing miraculous to me. I don't know about nobody else, but he didn't do nothing miraculous to me. The only thing that he did was reverse all the shit that they said they was going to do. That's the only thing he did.
Well,
he took
he was charismatic. Like, he wasn't businessman as like Don Matrick, who looked like a goof and acted very goofy. And you know, he came in there, and the thing is that Phil Spencer was head of Microsoft Game Studios. He was in charge of all their games, and we have had the worst drought in games since he has been head of Xbox and now vice president. He was running the Microsoft Studios. We thought Phil equaled games, and instead it's Phil equals bullshit. That's what it is. Like, we thought, yo, Mike, it's about games. And the thing is that, yes, he said all the key words, that it's about games. It's not about entertainment. It's not about movies and studios and movie studios and commercials and Connect and video packages and stuff. It's not about that. He's like, it's about games. And when he first came on, he was ready to win this and do games. It was Satya and Satya was the one that they turned Office into a service. Office 365. You bought Office 20, 2001, 2002, 2003. Now they made it a subscription, Office 365. It's a subscription. So they got you every month subscribing. Now they're doing the same thing now with, he wants everything into a service. And then they put it Office on iPad. They never had. It's because they don't have devices anymore. They don't have the hardware. They lost Windows Phone, and that's probably where most of my regret comes, because I was all in. I had the Surface. I got all their devices. I was in bed with them. Like, I was there, and they just said, "Oops, we're not doing it anymore." And they pulled a 180 and go, "Yeah, the phone, you know," and they same bullshit. Oh, make an app for Windows 8, and it goes on the phone, Windows Phone 8, and it goes over here, and nobody wanted to make anything. Same thing now. I'm seeing it with all the games. You're seeing it. What happened to Play Anywhere? How many third parties putting their game on Windows 10 store and on Xbox, and you buy it once? It's a bunch of indies. It's no third parties doing this, and it's been 3 years. What happened to UWP bringing more games to Xbox? Because guess what? You make it for Windows 10, it works on Xbox. I remember the guys. They took a shit. They came back. It's like, oh, it works on Xbox. 24 hours. It's amazing. Guess what? Did we see more games on Xbox because of UWP? I think we saw more multimedia apps than games on the Xbox. They didn't. None of the stuff they talked about, DirectX 12, they had people upgrade to Windows 10 because they said DirectX 12 was necessary for Quantum Break. And meanwhile, the sons of bitches put Quantum Break in the Steam store after it failed on Windows 10 and they used DirectX 11 in Steam. Like, they basically do all this shit. Same thing with Mixer. They just had this E3 that we're recapping. They didn't mention Mixer once out on the E3 stage. No Mixer integration to any of their games or anything with Mixer commercial stuff. Then
no Xbox One X.
Nothing with the Xbox One X. Nothing with like, hey, this game runs best on the Xbox One X. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. And then you see that they just laid off a whole bunch of Mixer and Inside Xbox people because they let go of all their original content people, all the people that were the kickstart to Mixer content. And I don't know. I just saw Brad Sam's video, and he says Mixer might be in trouble. Like, they might be going. June 30th is when their fiscal year ends, and now they either ramp up or they get rid of stuff. And them releasing all the Mixer and Inside Xbox people shows that they might be taking Mixer in a different direction. It might not be able to compete. And he actually did an example going, there's like 200, 300,000 people watching the top Twitch stream. There's probably maybe 3,000 people watching it on Mixer. Their top stream.
Oh, that's
like
not
nice. The disparity is they're not getting it. And the same thing. That's why, and I don't mean to go on this rant about this stuff, but it's all reason why Inside Xbox was an hour and a half. They wanted Mixer content. They wanted to bring traffic through Mixer. That's why they did all this kind of watch through Mixer streams and all. They wanted to bring the traffic through Mixer. Yeah, they put it on YouTube and stuff like that, but they wanted that Mixer stuff. And Ybarra has been quiet. He's the head of Mixer stuff. He's been real kind of quiet. He hasn't said anything about Mixer or anything like that. And they laid off a bunch of people. So they're all the people that made original content on Mixer, like it was its exclusive content to unique from Twitch. A lot of those people got let go. And the same thing to people on the Inside Xbox, which who knows? It's going to be Major Nelson and his gloves the next show. I don't know when they're going to do that. But, you know, it's just going to be him and the two other guys. But it's just, again, it's this whole, like, they're always late to the party, like they are with phones. They try to bully their way in. Developers are not excited to develop for Windows because it just has this negative connotation and this kind of legacy of old man technology, like Office Space. Yep. You know, it has this old, and like you watch Google I/O, and they're like all the younger people and all the younger generation all want to develop for Apple and Google and Amazon and all those. Those are the up and coming where the millennials want to develop for. They don't want to develop to old man Microsoft. Old man Microsoft, that's my daddy's computer. That's not my computer. And old Microsoft, man Microsoft. Old man Microsoft, you know?
Who is your daddy?
Man.
Who is your daddy?
In some ways, I feel sorry for them, man, because like I said, in the beginning of the 360, man, they was on to something. They were something.
They were hip. They were independent really from Windows. That was the thing. They were independent from Windows.
And they were giving us games that we wanted to play.
Exactly.
But like I said, I think the message where the message got they first of all, I think just like with Sony, man, I really do think that they wanted to get one foot into the living room. Everybody is trying, all these companies are trying to get their foot into the living room. But the thing, when they came out with the Xbox One, they just came out too aggressive. Way too aggressive.
They went just for TV entertainment. They went casual.
That shit was crazy. Yeah. I've never experienced anything like that in my life, man. Like, I was like, what in the fuck are they doing?
It was all about TV, entertainment. That's what it was. And they had the games. That was the craziest thing. Is that's when they had the games. They had Rise. They had Dead Rising exclusive. They had, they signed that Titanfall deal. They knew Halo was coming. They had the stuff. They had Quantum Break. They showed these kind of games, and they had games. It's just that they didn't lead with the games. They led with entertainment and motion control, which everybody was like. And then the same thing was like the government was watching you, and it was the worst thing, the worst time to even have cameras coming into shit. Now cameras are all over the place and yelling at your TV. Now, like, again, they either come in too late and just drop, or they start something and they don't follow it through and evolve it and then kill it before even done. Think about Connect. We were yelling at our TVs. We were like, this is ridiculous. Now you just yell Google or Alexa and it's like, yep, tell me the weather. Like, it just, they did not follow through with Connect. Like, they did not evolve it. I always thought they should just put a microphone inside the controller, and that instead of yelling at your TV, just put it. You came out with 5 different versions of the controller. You got rid of the IR blaster. Just put a microphone in it. Then they tried to throw Cortana in it. Cortana's dead. Like, that's another thing. Remember Cortana's coming to Xbox?
Yeah, they killed her.
Yeah,
they killed her in the game and in the
goddamn. They killed her in the game and in real life. Cortana got killed twice.
God damn. Hey, but you know what? How many people you think out there? Because I had the original Xbox One. How many people do you still got your Connect?
Yeah, because nobody takes it back.
Take it back.
GameStop will not. Take it back. I go to GameStop and I'm telling them, I'm doing this. I'm doing my
Take it back.
I go to GameStop. I'm like, take it back. Take it back. And then I go,
son of a bitch.
They don't take it back.
Don't do that.
Well, how does your GameStop look?
I could.
Because my GameStop, when you walk in there, right by the door, PlayStation, and then Nintendo. Microsoft is in the far back of the store.
Yes, they moved Microsoft in the back. Well, when I took that infamous photograph where they used the Microsoft demo station to hang T-shirts on it. Like, I had a picture, and it basically had the Microsoft demo station with a TV that said Xbox One, and they had T-shirts hanging on it. And I'm like, they had a Switch demo and a PlayStation demo working. That's another thing that they dropped with the Xbox One X. Where still, I don't even have that soundbite. To this day, there is not an Xbox One X demo anywhere except the back alley of a Microsoft store, if you could find one. In the back, they got an Xbox One X showed up. You can't go into GameStop, Best Buy, Target, Walmart, anywhere, Kohl's, anything, and see an Xbox One X hooked up to a TV with a game playing on it. You don't even know what the difference is, and that is on them. Sony had PSVR. They had a wall built of PSVRs and a guy sitting there with a handy wipes and a VR demo every friggin' week in the holiday. Every week during E3. Days of play. VR guy was standing there surrounded by PSVR boxes. Microsoft with the 360 had Kinect demos at Best Buy. People had crowds around them. They were so much better with marketing and accessories. They were garbage, and they're taking this garbage, and they're going to do this with Scarlett. They still don't have an Xbox One X. We're talking over a year and a half now. Do not have a demo. Have you ever seen an Xbox One X demo?
Never.
No. Nowhere in New Jersey, New York. And I travel all over the place, too. And I check out Best Buys because that's what I do in my downtime. I just walk around Best Buy, get to see all different ones. Not one Xbox One X demo. Oh, they got a shoebox of it.
Tim Dog out there, man? You see Tim Dog out there?
Slapping them out in people's hands. Like, yeah, I'm telling you, there is not One X demos out there at all. And even now, like, I understand maybe when you didn't want to diminish your Xbox One X, but now that Xbox One X you can't even find one. The only one I've seen was at a Microsoft store, and it's in the back of the Microsoft store, and it doesn't even say like Xbox One X station. You wouldn't even know. And it's not even on the cool panels on the side walls. It's like in the back on a TV somewhere. And that was the only time that I got to see an X demo was at the Microsoft store. And you tell me how much foot traffic is in a Microsoft store. They don't. It is garbage. It is so big. And I tell you, if you go to Best Buy, I'm sure everybody's Best Buy is set up the same way. You look at the Xbox setup, it looks like the history of video games. Like they just got a friggin' Xbox One X, an Xbox One S, a controller, and Game Pass. And it looks like the history of video games. It looks like a museum. It's like, I'm like, what is this? Like trash. I'm like, this is not set up. But like, the VR was out there, man. They did such a bad job.
No, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
No, I'm just saying they did such a bad job with that. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do the Scarlet. Like if they don't have the X demos out there.
That's what I want to ask both you guys something, man. And this is a hypothetical question. Now, let's say the execs at Microsoft say, "Hey, man, it's time we do this shit right." Now, grind my gears, Cyberjack. If they came to you, right, and they say, "Hey, feel is out, right? Mm-hmm. We really want to listen to the hardcore gamer. Give us a 5 to 10 year roadmap. We need to fix the Xbox brand. Mm-hmm. Give me a roadmap, a 5, 10 year roadmap. One of you guys, give me a 5, 10 year roadmap of what you would do to get the Xbox brand back on track."
Actually, better yet, what have you shown? What would you have shown? What would your E3 20? I'm gonna just twist it. What would your E3 2019 would have been to get the Xbox fans, get Xbox back on track like that? Like, what would you have done at this year's E3? You're the only show in town.
You know
Same
what?
thing with Big Money saying. Just what would you have done? What would your E3 look like?
Yeah, go ahead, Cyberdrag. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. Wow. That was a hard one.
Now remember, you got a budget. You got a budget. You got to have a budget. You can't just like, well, we don't want to pull crazy stuff, but because I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it requires. Well, anyway, I'll let you talk. I'm just like,
well, with the studios that they acquired, they already got Halo and Gears. That'll take care of your multiplayer. So work on some single player experiences that will get people to play the game, feel part of the game, and just play the game. You don't get that from Crackdown's multiplayer, Sea of Thieves multiplayer, State of the Case multiplayer. Well, first of all, to get backwards compatibility, which is backwards emulation.
Which they ended, actually. They announced at E3 that they're done with it now, and they're just working on Scarlet now. So there's no more backwards compatibility. That rules is over with. Or X enhancements. So they killed X enhancements. Yeah, they killed X enhancements of old 360 games, so no more new enhancements. And no new backwards compatibility games. And I guess the Xbox OG program really fell on its face. But that was news out of E3. Anyway, go.
So then you look at the market. You see what Nintendo put out. They got 5 games. One's multiplayer, though. The rest was single player. That sold over 10 million copies each. Sony had 4 games that sold over 10 million copies each. All 4 of those were all single player games.
Yeah.
The market loves it. It's proven by the sales of the console and the sale of the games themselves. And more is coming. So the pipeline is established for Sony's games. So you need to establish that initial pipeline.
Okay, so
I wouldn't say come out there and say we are sorry, because that would hurt the stock market price.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But they got these studios. They got to show them some demos of what's coming. No, I know you're not going to go for AAA because AAA costs millions. No, that's why they're going for the AA approach.
Forget about like a Game Pass. Like what would you do to get like gaming relevant back to Xbox, like back to where it was lost? Like what would you have done at this E3? Like I know these studios were there, but what would you have done? Like is there any IPs that you would try to get or resurrect or have somebody working on it, or you would have teased something? Like what would, like anything?
Hey, look, Sega has a whole bunch of games that nobody's tapping into. And there's Splinter Cell that's out there still no man's land. Need to bring Splinter Hell needs to come home.
Yes, that would have been a big one. Splinter Cell, yeah.
Let's see what else.
That would have been something they could have signed up with Splinter Cell.
And then
who was that?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was going to say, what was that? I forgot the name of that one game Lionhead was working on. What's the name of that Fable?
Fable. Yes, Fable needs bring Fable back because Fable will help get you there.
It's the worst kept secret. Like they all working on Fable, but the biggest question is, what is Fable gonna look like? Is it gonna look like Battletoads? Like, is it gonna look like a cartoon?
Oh my God!
Or is it gonna look like The Witcher? Like, is Fable gonna be like the kids' Fable, or is it gonna be a mature Fable? My bet it's going to be the Fable for
We're really focusing
cell phones.
first on what it means to play these games on your phone.
That.
So
don't say that.
It's a possibility, man.
I don't say that. See, and that's the thing. That's what I mean. They need.
That's my bet where they're going. But I wouldn't have done that at E3 because I would not focus on cell phone gamers.
My E3, my whole E3 would have been, listen. They're trying to expand to all these other gamers. I would have got back connected with the hardcore gamer. That's what they need to do. They need to get connected back to the hardcore gamer. We are the ones that got you here. We are the ones that keeping you afloat. I don't know why you're trying to. The other gamers will come. The casual gamers, they will come. Very hard on the hardcore gamer. Once you work hard on the hardcore gamer, I guarantee you everything else would be possible. That's what Sony's did. That's all Sony did was work on the hardcore gamer. They gave Spider-Man, God of War. Man, this is the first time this is the first time I've ever seen
Predator.
This ever done in the history of gaming. And look, Sony went to all of their first party studios and told them to work on a new IP.
Exactly.
What was that?
Yeah,
I could have heard it.
So what's holding them back also is the person in charge, Satya Nadella. You got to get past him with any of this. If he doesn't approve, it's not going to happen.
And before
the thing. I don't even think he want Xbox to exist anymore.
No. I said Satya.
I don't even think he wanted to exist.
Satya goes to Phil and he goes, how's our Nintendo doing? And he goes, oh, it's going. I said, Satya is like your mom when you were like 5, 10 years old when she called everything the Nintendo. It's like, Mom, I don't have Nintendo. It's a Sega. How's Nintendo? Go play your Nintendo. Go to your room and play your Nintendo. But Mom, I gotta have a Dreamcast. So go play your Nintendo. Great. That's what Satya is. He is not in. He's not in the business of what a game is, like what gaming means. He's basically just like how's our Nintendo, Phil? Like that's why Phil got promoted today because Satya wouldn't know a game if he fell over it. Like, you give him the Xbox controller, he probably would sit on it or something like that. He wouldn't know what the hell to do with this thing. Phil always knows about the games, and that's why he promoted him. Because guess what? As a manager, you keep people who know about stuff so you don't look like an asshole. Like Satya going out there talk, like you keep people that know about stuff around you. Like, I'm not real strong into games. Phil, you're promoted now. You are my right-hand man. So if anybody asks me about games, I'm going to give you the side eye and you tell them about it. Because Satya don't know about the business of gaming. And obviously Phil doesn't either. Phil is just a con man. Like he basically just knows, he just says the word games. And I think the biggest fallacy of this whole thing, and this is the thing that you exactly what you said, money and cyber, same thing. It's about the core audience because the biggest problem that I heard Phil when the Xbox One X was announced, when he said the person that plays on the console, it's the same people playing on phones and playing on PC. And no, they're not. I don't know what data you're looking at. First of all, you don't even have a fucking phone to even know who's playing on phones. So I don't know if you're tapping into Google's ass or Apple's. You don't even know about that data. But you sit there and think the person who's playing on the console is the same person playing on the phone who's playing on the PC. It's the same people. Then why would we even have a console market if the people playing on PC are the same people playing on console? Go look at the top 10 games on PC and the top 10 games on console and the top 10 games on cell phones and tell me they're the same game because it's the same player. No way. And that's the
No
biggest.
fucking way.
That is the biggest lie that he is issued, because he has told that to Satya. He's probably told that to him to keep his fucking job, because if Satya realizes that all Xbox was just for a core 30, 40 million people, Satya would have gave it the banhammer. Would gave it the axe. So Phil had to use his Phil Ness to Satya and go, well, you know, the guy over here, Cyber, who plays on Xbox, you know, he's the same guy that's playing Panda Pop when he takes a shit. And he's also the same guy that has a 1080 Ti and wants to play Half-Life 3, like, you know, begging for that in the forums. Like, it's not the same person. You know what I
Nowhere
mean?
near the same person.
It's not the same
Just like-
person.
Just like you said earlier, Phil is verbal from the Usual Suspect. You're
Yes,
reference for that.
I said the biggest. Oh my god, that was like in my head. I didn't want to call him the devil because that's wrong. I don't want him to, but I just said that he was sly in the fact that he. That's a whole other topic. But basically what he did was he put a face to Xbox that they might as well just put his face on the machine, because that's what you're buying now. You're buying him. You're not buying games for it. And that's the thing. Like, you know, like he basically convinced you, like, it's not about the games. It's about, like, it's about everything else. It's about Windows 10. It's about UWP. It's about xCloud. It's about remote play. It's about, no, it's about the games. That's why you buy a gaming console. And that's why I left it, because when it became not about the games anymore, I'm sitting here, have my same kind of relapse of looking at my Xbox going, I'm playing my next Disney Sports Soccer. I'm like, you guys are on cloud 9. And I'm looking over at Sony and people are like, Horizon. And no, I'm going to tell you, the game that broke me was when I went out and got a Switch first before the PlayStation. And I played Zelda. And I was like, holy crap. This is a game. Like, I'm playing a game, because I was disappointed. Like, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at, I just got off of Quantum Break. And I was like, that was the controller would go to sleep because the movie in between the cutscene, the movie was so long that your controller would like log you out of your profile. You had to like your controller went to sleep, and I went to sleep too with the controller because the movie in between had nothing to do with the game. It was like a side story. They should put it on Netflix. Like it was just a side story, and then the combat was decent, but the time powers sucked. Like, I'm like, yo, there should have been better time powers here. Like, this could have been really cool. There was no online, which I was like, weird. Like, you know, like there was no horde mode, or it was a very uninspired game. And I was like, and it didn't look that great. It looked very fuzzy. And I played it on PC because that's where they were doing that whole thing. But I actually played a game, and I was like, this is what gaming's back. And then I saw what Nintendo had coming, and I'm like, ooh. And then on that E3, when Phil Spencer announced $500 PlayStation Xbox, I said this. I was like, whatever they do the X, if the X is $400, they care about, they want to compete in the console space, and they want to compete against Sony if the X is $400. If they price it at $500, they're no longer interested in the console space and care more about PC. That was my call. So I was watching E3, and when I saw Jeff Keighley spoil it, I was like, no way he's going to come out there and say $500 again. You know, no way they're going to make the same mistake. He studied 3 years ago saying $500. He's not going to do it again. And he went out there and repeated the same mistake. That's what Sony did not do. Sony did not do. They learned from their previous generation. They went out there and said, yo, that guy that said go get a job and that giant enemy crab, it's $600, $400, let's go. We're in this. And Sony learned. Microsoft did not learn. They should have learned to say $500 is not the price for a console. Look how much it hurt us when we bundled that stupid camera and $500 Connect.
He's the stupid camera.
And now, and now you're in the same situation. There's a $400 PlayStation 4 Pro. You are more powerful than it. You come out at $400. Let's go. Like, now the horse is in the race. Now maybe we could shake some stuff up. You're maybe not going to catch up, but you're definitely going to you're going to poke Sony in the ass if you make this X $400. Let's go. Instead, $500, no games.
Oh my God.
That's it. I don't want to hear nothing
That
else.
was crazy. At least, okay, when they did that, right, at least you can try to say, okay, we fucked up. We fucked up bad. Now, what we can do is impress our fan base. Because
right.
we have people like dealers, the dealers out there in the crap game. Let's try to improve on our fan base because we lost a lot of customers to Sony. Let's impress our fan base, and just maybe, we can win some of our fans back.
Yes.
No. They did the exact opposite of that.
No,
they did the
exact
again. Opposite of that.
And right now, time is not on their side right now. No, you gotta wait for these games. You gotta wait.
And he even said, like, and I think I saw an article today where he's like, "Oh, well, with all these studios now, we could give everybody time," and that's another thing that drove me crazy about this E3. He's sitting there going, "I'm so happy what we didn't show," and I'm like, "You really think you got all this time? By the time those games come out, you're gonna be a pile of ash, and you're gonna be irrelevant. All your people, all your fans, the core." While you go poke, I swear, it is like a cheating husband who's poking his dick around everywhere, and the wife is saying, "Go ahead," with the core audience, "Go ahead, go poke your dick around. When you come back home, don't worry, come." And then when he comes back home, guess what? After a while, the wife at home is going to be like, "You know what? Stay the fuck out there. Don't come back home, and stop poking your dick with all those mobile gamers out there."
And that's it. I want to hear nothing else.
Hey man, you know what? I would love to be in that room. One room where they got all their accountants, right? And the accountant is looking at the same when they bought the 360 out in 5 years past, and they look how many consoles they sold. And you take the same time from 2013 till now. That how can you go backwards? In business, you always go forwards. How can you go backwards? If you take the 360 and you go from when did the 360 come out? 2005?
Yeah,
and then you get to 2012 and you up to 80 million. The Xbox One X, the Xbox One been out for how long now? About 7 years now. Yeah, about 6-7 years now, and they like close. They just not getting the 40 million.
Oh yeah!
Like, oh my god, man,
it's not good. Well, the thing is that
that's not good at all.
No, it's not good. And like what they needed to do, and I thought this E3, I kind of knew that they were not going to do this, but like, see, well, my thing for E3, what I would have done is had Phil Spencer. First off, he bought these studios, right? So they bought them last year. He knows that it's going to take time to build these studios. Why wouldn't you go get some timed exclusive games from third party? Pay the extra money. You got all the money in the world. Buy some timed content. Maybe put your game first for 6 months. Do some things to leverage the amount of time it's going to take to make these games. Don't just like buy a bunch of studios and say, guys, we're just going to have to sit here and wait for a couple of years before we see anything from these studios that's relevant to, like, you know, what I think. He should have went out there and said, you know what, Cyberpunk, here's a shit ton of money. We want you 6-month exclusive, you know. And I understand he thinks because of the Tomb Raider fail. First off, the Tomb Raider fail, Square Enix they basically shit in his plate because they basically said before it came out, they're like, oh yeah, it's just a year contract, it's just a year timed exclusive. Like, they basically ruined his exclusivity. And you know, that's a one thing I do have to say is that whenever Microsoft does that, the microphones get this is the one thing, they shove them right in their face and go, how long, how long, how long, how long. They never do that for Sony though. Like, Sony like says it, walks off the stage, and they turn into dust. They're like, oh shit, it's only on PlayStation, and like nobody knows. But man, if Phil Spencer goes out there and goes, guys, the next game is gonna be 6 months. Keeley, they got microphones in his mouth going, how long, how long, how long, how long? And Phil Spencer's like, eventually he breaks. He's like, it's time. It's a time. Oh, wait, he said it's timed. How long, how long? Like, that's the one thing, though, I do have to admit. Like, I don't know if it's because the English speak. I don't know why. But for some reason, when Sony says, like, they show, like, Final Fantasy, like, oh, Final Fantasy, and they walk away, nobody knows how long it's timed. Or nobody knows. And nobody would ask them. Nobody asked them. They got their own Sony finesse. Like, nobody challenges them saying, well, how long? But man, when Microsoft does it, and I don't know if it's because they think it's sly business or they know that Microsoft had to pay to get that because no way in hell would they put a game on that system like for timed. I don't know. But you basically, and yeah, I agree with Glindsey. He says in the chat, time exclusivity works better when you're in first place. I totally agree. Like, I think they know that they are so far off that it won't even make them come back, that much. But the thing is that it still gives some relevance to your core audience that's still there. Like, you're not going to beat Sony. You know that. But at least you show that you're trying. You're not just giving up. And that's what they're doing now. They're giving up. People think that this is an amazing business move and this is gaming for everybody. Well, guess what? Nice guys finish last. Okay?
Yes, they do.
And him being a nice guy, nobody else. So Google's not coming out here roasting marshmallows. Sony's not coming out roasting marshmallows. Nintendo, Amazon. Look at Epic. Is Epic coming on roasting marshmallows with Steam?
Hell no.
Hell no. They laid down the gauntlet. That's it. That's what nobody else is roasting marshmallows. That's why when I see everybody going, well, everybody's just gonna put their games everywhere. When we all play, when everybody plays, we all win. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Come on. Who made you? Who made you the Dalai Lama of video games? Who made you the friggin' Mahatma Gandhi of video games? Nobody asked you to be the Mahatma Gandhi of video games. Like, stop it. It's competition. Do you see McDonald's going, you know what? When somebody eats a burger at Burger King, we all win. Like, no. Coke and Pepsi. Why do we need two sodas? Why do we need two sodas? Is Coke just like, why? Why do we need Coke and Pepsi? Does it make a sense? Coke should just be like, when anybody drinks soda, we all win. That will move the soda industry forward. No. We'll move, and actually, and like what you said, where we are today, like you said before, about how gaming, I don't know if it was Big or Cyber said it, about gaming is so much more relevant now than it was. Like, nobody would invest in it, right?
Right.
How the hell did that happen? Did that happen because Sega gave up? Sega went bankrupt. Like, Sega was, like, done. But, like, is it because, like, Nintendo said, you know what, Mario should be everywhere? And was it because Sony's like, you know what, Twisted Metal should be everywhere, Metal Gear Solid? Like, was it because these guys gave up off the generations? No. Nintendo and Sony were cutthroat. Dreamcast, Sega was cutthroat. With Sony, Sony was cutthroat with Sega and Nintendo, partnering with Nintendo and then slapping them in the ass and making them make another game system, like, and making the PlayStation, because Nintendo screwed Sony. Like,
and then
we got where
that
we
Final
are today.
Fantasy VII from Square.
That's right. We got here today because of competition, because of consoles making sure that they were beating the other console to beating them up. They got that game. We got this game. They got that game. Xbox, when it started as an OG Xbox, they had exclusive games. They had Halo. Halo was the reason why Xbox existed, an exclusive game. So when people tell you exclusives don't matter now, the Xbox was built on one exclusive. Without Halo, that Xbox probably wouldn't even been where it was.
Halo at one time was the biggest game in gaming. Period. I don't care what
it was the Halo
say.
box. Like, that's the reason why you bought an Xbox. It was for one game. It wasn't because everybody's like, oh, it's Microsoft, we should just buy a game. It was exclusives. It was timed exclusives. It was getting GTA day one on Xbox because Sony had the timed exclusivity of GTA. Nintendo using Silicon Knights and making games and using Mario as leverage and Mario Sports and we got here because of competition. We didn't get here because one of them gave up and said, oh, you know what? We will make so much more money if Mario was on a PlayStation. You know, we will make so much more money.
When nobody's singing Kumbaya, ain't nobody, none of those investors are singing Kumbaya. You think investors want to hear shit like that? Investors want to hear how much motherfucking money you gonna make me.
Exactly.
I'm gonna make so much money for you, and we're gonna have our own thing. That's the way it would. And you know what? Who wins from all that competition? The gamer.
The gamer.
The gamer.
And another example, T-Mobile. T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon were dominating. They were the two big guys. And guess what? Did T-Mobile come in and go, huh? No, T-Mobile said, yo, what? Contract. Like, they were disruptive. And they forced AT&T and Verizon to do unlimited minutes and unlimited data because T-Mobile was giving all that shit for free. Like, they were disruptive. They came in here with competition. You know, they were disruptive to the business. Everywhere.
See what EA did to 2K. 2K came out with a $20 football game. EA said, fuck that. We finna buy the whole fucking shebang.
And look what happened to Madden, right? Without competition. Look what happened to Madden.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Without
Look
a football game.
Look at it now. Yep. Look at it now. Everybody is hating that shit. I'm wishing for another somebody to come out with another football game. I'm praying for another football game. But see, it's lonely at the top, man. When you're at the top, like I took this analogy with Mike Tyson, man. When you at the top, right, and you got your top 10. Nobody in your top 10 is good enough to beat you. So then you get lazy. Like, well, I ain't worried about nobody. I ain't worried about none of these dudes. Can't none of them beat me, so I'm going to get lazy. I'm going to get lazy. I'm going to keep getting lazy. The next thing you know, you got somebody that's ranked 200,000 in the world come knock your head off. And that's what's going to happen.
Look what happened to Ronda Rousey.
That's what's going to happen.
She never got back to that thing. Like, Ronda Rousey was like, everybody trained to beat her. And then they did, and then she could never win again. Because when you're at the top, you got to be competitive. And that's why when I hear Phil's like, everybody's like, yay, Phil, yay. The thing is like, yo, it's wonderful. It's great. But he has to have some fighting blood in him. He has to fight. You can't just give it all up. You can't just give it all up. And you did. You gave all your IP. You divested everything that gave an identity to the Xbox. Now it's not even Xbox means underwears. Like it doesn't. We don't know what the hell Xbox means anymore.
Body wash.
You took its identity away. Yes, cologne, body wash.
Devalued.
They sit there, like I said, they sit there and be wondering, like, man, I wonder why the Xbox is not selling. What?
Yeah.
You wondering why the Xbox is not selling?
What drives me crazy is that people think like Scarlet and like Xbox is going to come out next E3 and drop all these exclusive games. Do you realize that Halo is going to be everywhere on day one? Like, it is going to be on the cloud, on Steam, on Windows 10, on Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox Sad Edition, Xbox One X, on the cloud, which means I could probably play it on my phone as I'm waiting to get a Scarlet. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it doesn't have the impact that it would have had if it was the OG, like, if it was only playable on Scarlet. If it was built from the ground up for Scarlet, and maybe the Xbox One X. Like, say, the X and Scarlet, that's it. It'll come to PC later. I can't believe they're going to do that to Halo because I don't even know. And you already see, I already saw people complaining about E3. Back to E3. We got on a whole fucking tangent. But back to E3. They were saying about Halo, Halo Reach being played on the PC. It's basically a 9-year-old console game being played on PC. They're not redoing the hitboxes. I think they just fixed the field of view because it was locked at 90 degrees. And, like, it's basically an old console game just being played on PC. Like, from what they played, they really didn't make it a PC game. And this is where I said the console player, PC player, mobile game have different expectations and different needs. Like, you can't just throw a game from a console on a PC and go, yep, it's an ultimate success. Like, look at PUBG versus the console. Yeah, it was okay console because they were giving it with every fucking morning cereal. They gave PUBG away on the console, but PUBG never hit the numbers that it hit on PC, even now that it's on PlayStation and on Xbox. Like, it never hit those numbers because the PC guys and console guys are different people. They're different people. And they were saying about the Halo Reach that it feels like an old console game on that. PC guys are going to try it out, but they're not going to, like, just be invested in Halo on there if the Halo is not made to PC standards. If it's just a console port, and I think they noticed, but it showed with Gears 4. Like, I think a lot of people are forgetting that Gears 4 was the first Gears of War game released day and date on both Xbox and PC. and it didn't not thrive at all on PC. It meant nothing. Like, it was negligible. Like, that over 6 months, and I've done it on one of my shows. I showed over the course of 6 months, they basically kept increasing the pool and forcing them to play with the console people because they couldn't find games in time on PC by just playing in that walled garden. They had to open it up to the console people, and then eventually they gave the console people the way to vote not playing with them. But they could not find games. It was taking too long on the PC version. And that's your biggest franchise, and you dumped it on PC. You took away the value that it had. Maybe it would have sold some more consoles if you didn't have it on PC. Maybe those guys who bought it on PC would have bought a console, maybe, to play games for, because maybe that's their game. But you didn't do that. You put it on PC, and you lost a potential console sale. Like, it just, that's what they have done. And, and it's just very... And my thing is that right now I feel like what they're doing with this whole 2 million gamers, 2 billion people, is they're doing the same thing that they did in 2013. They're keeping the focus on the general public and not addressing the core audience. Instead, they're doing it now the same way, but now they're saying, well, it's all about games. Yeah, but not the games that your core audience wants. You're throwing the word games in there as like a hashtag games, but you really are talking about games you're still talking to the same the market that was watching TV. You're still talking to the people watching Price is Right because you want them to use the phone. And the thing is that, don't you remember this whole bullshit about Kinect? The whole thing was that the controller is a barrier of entry. So a person who plays on a cell phone, you think they know what to do with an Xbox controller and 13 buttons? Do you think they know what to do with that? A person who plays touchscreen like shooting games and Panda Pop, do you think they know what to do with Gears of War with a controller with 12 buttons on them?
Oh my God!
No, they're not the same people.
Nope.
Hey,
so
man,
I don't know what
bro,
I
didn't know you was this drastic, man. You killed Xbox worse than I do. God damn.
Yo, man, I've told you, I'm the worst thing. I'm not a PS fan. I'm not a Sony fanboy. I'm the worst thing. I'm a disgruntled Xbox fan. I am the voice of frustrated Xbox owners who I know, and I said this on my last thing. It was a vow to all Xbox fans. All you Xbox fans, you did not sign up for this when you lined up for your Xbox.
Oh, you did
Nobody said this is what I wanted. Oh, I want my games on my phone. I want them on PC. No. I know. Trust me, because I said I'm the worst nightmare because I have done. I was in bed with Microsoft. I know everything about. I follow everything. I absorb all news. That's why people are like, why don't you piss off at Sony? The thing is like, how can I get mad? And first of all, I'm not as passionate about Sony because I never had a PlayStation 2. I never had a PlayStation 2. I had a PlayStation 3 when Uncharted came out, and Microsoft was having Kinectimals on stage, and I'm like, you know what? I think I might just tap into this like Sony, and I'm going to try Killzone 2, Uncharted 2, and you know what? They have Kinectimals. I'm not going to, I think and they had Usher on stage with Dance Central, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to try some of the Sony stuff, but they didn't have Party Chat, so I felt very empty over there. Like, it was kind of lonely coming from Party Chat on Xbox. And I thought the same thing.
You know what? You have the right to be angry at them, man, because like
I invested 5 Xboxes. I bought 2 launch ones, S's. Ooh. I just stopped at the X. I said, nope, no more money.
Yeah.
No more money. I even bought my parents an Xbox. I bought my parents an Xbox because I thought my dad would love the Kinect and using the controller to listen to his thing. I bought 6 Xboxes. I bought like 3 Xbox Ones with Kinect. I bought 2 Xbox Ones with Kinect, those bundles. I bought an Xbox then I got rid of those Xboxes. I got 2 S's, and I bought 2 Xbox One S's, and then I bought 2 Samsung 8000 TVs because somebody told me that Xbox One S had 4K upscaling. You know, I do recall that the Xbox One S did 4K upscaling and HDR.
Highest frame rates. No compromise.
No, I'm not talking about the X. I'm talking about the S.
Oh,
If you go back,
yeah,
before Project Scorpio existed, that holiday, and actually Xbox One NPD for like the 3 months. Remember the 4 months consecutively when the S launched? The S, the little one. The S, the one that we make fun of now because it's the weakest thing ever. But during that time, it was a 4K HDR player. It was a 4K HD, the Blu-ray. It also did 4K upscaling of your games because it used HDMI 2.0. So if you bought a TV that had HDR and had a 60 4K frame port, like the Samsung 8000 TV, the Xbox would look a little bit sharper on that because the S was using the new HDMI standard, not 1.4, 2.0. So it sent the 4K signal out. Even though the fucking bastard was still running at 900p, it just made it work on the 4K. And as soon as the X came out, they dropped the whole 4K upscaling. 4K upscaling, that whole promo thing. And the reason why they did it was because they wanted to show the S was maybe the same level as the PlayStation 4 Pro, because the PlayStation 4 Pro didn't come out until that November, and Microsoft announced its Scorpio to kind of get a jump start on it, but also was used, all the big terms during that time was HDR, 4K, 4K Blu-ray, and Sony was just coming out with a more powerful Pro. VR, remember VR and all that other stuff, and it was all about VR. Microsoft had all the terms. Hashtag VR, hashtag 4K upscaling, hashtag HDR. They had it all because they were trying to go against the Pro.
Yeah.
And
have you ever been at E3? Have you ever went to E3?
No, I haven't been. I was outside of E3. I never went in it.
Oh, okay.
I was around the area when E3 was going on. But the thing is like that's why it drove me crazy, because I bought everything. I bought 2 TVs.
Don't feel bad, man.
Like, look, if we ever go to E3 and we see Jazz and he spots Phil, we're gonna have to stop. We're gonna have to stop. We're gonna have to do it.
Daddy.
They're gonna feel we can't. Daddy. Come on, buddy. No. I gotta work.
I never owned an Xbox. I might beat him
Take
to
it back. Take it back.
I'll see him and I'm doing all my Arnold things.
Son
You
of a
son of a
bitch.
bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Like,
I invested so much into them, and then after all that stuff, the guy then tells me that he's giving me a $500 Xbox One X, and that and with no games, and showing me bullshit, and I'm like, I'm done. I am done. And then I see Sony showing Spider-Man and God of War, and I'm like, holy crap. And then I bought that E3. And people on my channel hear this story all the fucking time. I'm like an old man, like Marcus Phoenix telling stories. But like, I'm basically like, I had a Pro next to me, and I said, I'm watching you, Sony. I want to see your press conference in 2017. And after that press conference, I'm going to open up this Pro if you could sell me on this thing. And they showed God of War, Spider-Man, Days Gone. And I'm like, let me try this. And I played those Sony exclusive games. I started with Horizon Zero Dawn. And
great game,
on
man.
a PlayStation 4 Pro. And I'm like,
Yep.
And then I played Uncharted 4, right? I swear to you,
Keep them coming.
after the mission where he was in the mud and I'm jumping between car and car, I put down my fucking controller and I stood up and clapped. I did it. I gave the game a standing fucking ovation.
I was like, stand up and take your Xbox and throw it out the window.
And then I turned to my left and I looked at my little S that was sitting there on my projector TV. I have a fucking 100-inch projector. I looked at my S and I go, you will never give me anything like that ever. And that's where I started going. And as I played more and more of these games, and on top of that, Sony kept putting these things on sale. The sales on the PSN destroy the sales on Xbox. That Xbox deals with gold deals with shit. PlayStation has a flash. They had flash sales. I was getting games for $6 and the 50. I couldn't stop buying games, and I'm like, I didn't want to get. And all of a sudden, my library just started building on the PlayStation, and then I wasn't. You know what else is hilarious is that I was not playing a lot of the multiplats that I would have played on Xbox. Instead, I was playing exclusive games. I was playing Uncharted, then Lost Legacy, then Dead Rise, then Until Dawn. That game was awesome, and that game was. And I was such an asshole with Until Dawn. I watched it on stream. I'm like, that's just a movie game, and I watched it somebody streaming it. And then I still played it, and I liked it, and I kept playing Until Dawn, and I was beating games, I was completing games, and I was like, it was like I was reborn gaming. Like I never played.
There you go.
There you go.
Crazy.
Yes, sir.
And I kept looking back at my Xbox, and I'm like, when are you like? And I was thinking like, okay, so when are they gonna start delivering? Let's go, Gears. Like let's start. Let's go. And and then that's when they hit it at the worst time. Sea of Thieves. I only want to talk about the games anymore because that's all I talk about is how disappointed I was and how disappointed I was in what Gears, how it was so safe. It was the same Gears of War game. It was like, hey, we can make a game. I'm like, that's great, Rod Ferguson. Like, this is the next gen Gears of War. Like, come on, let's go. You know, and it just hit me. And maybe it's just where I am in my gaming career and what it is, but I was like, I never felt this. And then I'm going to talk about God of War and Spider-Man and thinking about that. If I was a diehard Xbox fan and I was like, I don't see that, you know, as you're a fan and you're a Sony fan and you know that you got to say like, you know, you give yourself, and this is the truth. You know, people say don't fight for the plastic and all this other stuff. But trust me, if you are a fan of a product, you make reasons why you don't want that other product. It's just nature. Like, you would just be like, nope, I don't want that product. Like, I'm not going to get that product because this satisfies me. Like, this is good. And you will definitely, like, say, like, they really got to do something to really sell you on this stuff. And Sony, after all that time, just, you couldn't deny it. It was like an inevitable fate that I could not deny, like, my son loves Spider-Man. I'm like, I have to do, and when I started just playing, I just wound up playing more and more on PlayStation, and I played less and less third-party games. Like when the games came out, like third-party games, I was just waiting on them. I was just like, you know, like, I don't need to get this day one. I'll wait for it on sale because I'm playing an exclusive. You know, an exclusive, huh? You know, those things that are sour, like anti-consumer and all that other shit, right? But the exclusives, and now here's a perfect example. I'm playing Judge. Like, see, I probably would have bought, what is it? The like Samurai Show. I would have bought all Samurai Showdown, right. But you know what? I'm playing Judgment. I had Dreams. I was playing Dreams with that. And I still got to play Days Gone. Like, Crackdown, I finished in 2 days. It was just a poor man's open world game. It was horrible. Crackdown 3 for the amount of time that it took, and the multiplayer is dead. No, you can't even play it. I tried streaming it; it's dead. But like, but the thing is, and then on top of that, you see like Medieval, even little games like Secret of Mana never came to Xbox. Never, they remastered it. Hey, you know that Xbox guys? They remastered Secret of Mana.
That's crazy.
Secret of Mana. No. Like. And there's just so, like, it's just, and then on top of that, I got the VR, and it's like, you know, the games look great on the 4K TV. You got VR, you got PlayStation subscription with PlayStation Now. I even did PlayStation Now because I got it on cheap, and I'm like, I'm able to play some of these PlayStation 3 games, hardwired, of course, that I never played before. And I play a little bit just to sample them, like streaming. That's another story. But this is my revelation. This is my gaming story the last 2 years. And that's why I'm so cynical of what Xbox is, because I know now more than ever, it's not about the games anymore. It's not about it. And there's my rant. I'm going to lose my fucking voice again. But, like, this is what I do on the stupid thing. Like, I just basically just go off. And, like, it just drives me insane because I look and it's not about the games anymore. It's about Phil said this, Phil said that, Yabara tweeted this. Oh, like, look at the pajamas, look at the like, that's all nice when you're winning. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, when you're giving me games, if you show me a kick-ass Halo and not that weak ass shit that you showed at E3, but you show like some kick ass stuff, go make your body wash. That's fine. But don't show me shitty ass clips of games that I want to see and then go talk about body wash and fucking streaming. That's the whole point.
How do you feel about Horizon 2, God of War 2, and Spider-Man 2?
I am not. I told you. I said I am not. I'm on PlayStation 5. That's it. I got PlayStation 5. I have a PC here that I will dabble in whatever Xbox wants to offer, but is basically I'm getting a PlayStation 5 and I have a Switch, and that's it. You know, it's Nintendo, and I got a PC, and I'll dabble in whatever Microsoft wants to throw at me. But the thing is that as a hardcore Xbox fan, and people go, "Well, you're a PC gamer, you're a play." No, I'm a disgruntled Xbox fan that was forced on PC because that's where Phil told me his focus was going to be. All right,
Exactly.
You got to realize Phil does not give a shit about the console anymore. Everything he just said in another article, he is committed to earn the respect and make the PC people feel first class. If that wants you to go out and buy a $500 dedicated gaming machine from that guy who says he wants to make PC guys feel first class and he wants to earn their respect, that doesn't make me want to go spend $500 on a gaming console. They haven't said Xbox console once.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey man, I'm sorry, but man, it's getting kind of late for me, man.
I know. Well, I appreciate it, man. I've been like fucking ranting again.
Oh no, man.
Hey, Jazz, don't stop being Jazz, man. Don't do that, man.
Like, you hear my story and everything, but yeah, that's why whenever those guys talk, man, like they drive, like I just want it. It's about the games, and you go where the games are, and if they make great games, and Gears 5 is awesome. Dude, like, let's go. Like, you know, I'm ready to go. But, you know, it just, I just can't believe that, you know, to try to wrap this up, whatever E3 shit it was. But basically, the amazing thing is that E3 came and went, and we still don't know what the studios are making. We still are saying we're still talking about studios. We don't know any games except Bleeding Edge. That was it. We still don't know what.
Saying wait till next E3, and we still saying that.
E3 came and went and was still saying it's not even wait to Gamescom. I thought at least they'll buy. No, it's wait to next year. It's not even wait to Gamescom.
What about that?
Shit. Or even XO19. It's not even wait to XO19.
Yeah.
But
hey man,
like,
it's been great, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. This has been the Grinders Roundtable. I'll let you guys do your outros, man. Do your outros.
Hey, this is Big Money, man. I had a great time with Grind My Gears, man. Y'all make sure y'all tune in next Monday, or I don't know what Sick
Tuesday. I don't know.
I don't know what Sick is going to do, but I think Sick probably had to go to work. I hope there's nothing wrong. I'm gonna try to get in contact with him. I hope there's nothing wrong, because usually he would have said something. Like, he ain't even said nothing, so I hope there's nothing wrong. If you look at this, Sick, man, hit us up, man. Let us know what's going on, bro. Yeah. We just came on here to talk a little bit because we was getting anxious, man. We wanted to talk, man. So make sure y'all don't miss the show next week. I don't know what we're gonna do.
It'll be a Monday or Tuesday at the Before the Players podcast. You know, we're gonna have Nintendo
Before the Players podcast, man.
Disgruntled Xbox fans, PlayStation fans, PC dudes. We're all over there. Everybody's give their opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I think we're gonna have a great show. We had a great show tonight, man. I wish Frog would have showed up.
I know. I Yellow Frogs. He was in our chat, and then he said he's going to make dinner. He must be having that fucking Gordon filet mignons. Gordon Ramsay filet mignons, Frogs.
All right, man. But y'all take it easy, man. I'll see y'all either tomorrow or next week, man. Y'all take it easy.
Thanks, man.
Okay. All right, Big Money. Well, this is Cyber Dragon. About to sign off here. I'd like to thank those who are in the chat. Thanks for rocking with us. I do gaming streams on my channel. Small titles, major titles, off and on. Believe it or not, I'm about to turn 55 in July. So I'm an old
congrats.
gamer. I started on the Intellivision way back. So PlayStation guy, don't own a Switch, never had an Xbox. And I just love gaming. So Yeah.
Hey, man,
Hit me up
thank
with
you.
a song if you can, or if you want to. Thank you, Jeff, for having me on. And
Hey, no problem, man. Anytime. This has been good stuff. You got to go back and listen. I tried to throw the sound clips in there because if I did them the other way, you guys would have heard an echo. But anyway, we got our sound clips in there. I heard them. I thought they were funny.
to everybody in the chat, man, y'all have a good evening, guys.
Thank you. We're gonna leave you with
We're
Phil
really
Spencer.
Focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone.
Games on his
so
phone.
we thought about how can we get as many people playing on a phone as possible.
And my Benny Hill music.
There you go. Benny Hill's the man, man.
Oh man. Anyway, this has been your boy Jez7780. What grinds my gears with a Grinders Roundtable. First, thank you. Share, like the video, sign up for the other dudes. Thank you, Grinders. I'll talk to you guys out.